want to welcome everyone. This is the 92nd Annual Met Basketball Writers College presentation. These awards are among the oldest in the nation for college basketball. Now, my name is Chuck Stogel. I am president of the Met Basketball Writers, a former sports editor at the Journal News here in Westchester, and for a long time I covered college basketball for the Associated Press. It is my privilege to serve as your MC for the evening. I'll be sitting up here most of the time to help speed things along. We have a lot of awards and special presentations on our agenda tonight. My first request is that please everyone turn off the sound on your cell phones. Rig for silent running, and we thank you in advance. As we begin our program this evening, a few special thank yous. Thanks first to the members of our executive committee and our volunteers. An event like this takes hundreds of hours in preparation, and it takes contributions in effort by many different people and organizations. Second, a special thank you to the schools and conferences advertising in our dinner journal. Without your continued loyalty, we would not be able to continue with our Met basketball activities. And third, I want to extend a special thank you to a pair of Met area college students, both of whom are helping here with the dinner this evening. The first, Luke on the City from Sarah Lawrence College. This past season, Luca served as our first Met Basketball Writers student intern, and he proved particularly adept at creating graphics and providing social media content. And the other student has been here before. His name is David Horn from Hunter College. David was our top scholarship winner last year. Guys, I want to thank you both especially. The Haggerty Awards are unique and historic, and they are well known and well thought of around the country. We extend special thanks to all the coaches and media who took part in voting for these awards and for attending and helping tonight. It actually feels very, very nice to be here this evening. Tonight is a time to relax and to celebrate the season-long accomplishments of our most gifted coaches and athletes. We have 70 schools, more than 2,000 men and women playing basketball. Tonight, we honor the best of the best from the Met area. A couple of reminders as we get to the awards presentations. We don't always know which award winners will be here tonight. So don't be surprised if some names are called, but the players are not here. When that happens, we ask someone from the matching program, please, to come up after the dinner and to pick up the award. Also, with so many trophies to produce, it does happen sometimes that a name is misspelled. And also we know we have a few plaques where the date was erroneously inscribed. And we're going to take care of that. If that happens, and it's on your plaque, please come over after the dinner. We'll get the trophy fixed, and we'll mail it out to you next week. By the way, tonight's event is being live streamed on the Met Basketball Writers website. Further, in just a few days, both the video of the dinner, the Haggerty Awards printed program which you have, along with a photo gallery, will all be accessible on the Met Basketball website. At this time, with Doug Feinberg from the Associated Press, member of the Met Writers Executive Committee, please just stand in place at your table. Let me say this. Doug is a longtime women's college basketball editor at the AP. He has been at the AP for 30 years, covering women's basketball for the past 20 years, including 17 Final Fours and 5 Olympics. And at this year's Women's Final Four in Tampa, Doug was inducted into the U.S. Basketball Writers Hall of Fame, which is a very special honor. On behalf of everyone here, Doug, job well done. There's also been a tradition at this dinner when it had been advised in advance to perhaps give a special shout out and welcome any new personnel to college basketball in the Met area. At this time, I just want to say hello to someone new to this area. He is the newly named basketball general manager at Iona University, Craig Moore. Craig, if you would just stand for a second. You are joining a highly competitive conference in the MAC, and the tradition is long and healthy at Iona. Good luck. Ladies and gentlemen, since we last announced our All-Met selections in April of 2024, our Met basketball community has lost several dear individuals who have passed away. There is a special section in your printed program called In Memoriam that remembers 9 very special people who are no longer with us. I'm not going to read a lot about them, it's in the program, but let me call their names. Lou Connor Secka from St. John's. Jack Powers from Manhattan College and the NIT. Mike Babel from Wagner. Kevin Black from Rutgers. Jim Boatwright from Hofstra and NIU. Ted Hurwitz from CCNY, Lehman, and then the CUNY Conference. Elijah Olanai of Stony Brook. John Stanko of Iona and Barstool Sports. And Al Troutwig of Adelphi and the MSG Network. If you would now, please, turn your attention to the large video screens at the front and back of the room for a special tribute remembering the life of Coach Lou.
St. John's is about the players. Coaches are important, yes, but it was always the players that put the steak and potatoes on the table.
He's had the biggest impact on my life, on and off the court. Coach, I wouldn't be who I am or where I am today if it wasn't for you. He's a great person who wanted to run for a wall for me.
Intense. He played as hard as we did on the court on the sideline.
He had the greatest passion for the game of basketball.
He knows how to teach as well as coach. He's my idea.
The first time I saw St. John's team play was 1942 in Madison Square Garden. That was my first experience watching St. John's, and I fell off them. The people I learned from, how to call back, once I looked at Coach Leipzig and Ryan Day, and I learned. 83 when the Bees had the first tournament there, Coach Connor Secka said, you guys, this is special. We're coming back to where we belong. Coach went from we were walking with Kings. The next day on the cover, the New York Post, there's Billy Woods on the back. It was cool. It was just so much enthusiasm, the crowd. You could feel it just for a while. that you can't describe. I was unfortunate that I was in there just at the time when I felt it was time for me to go. Then my guys, that's it. I still yell at them, friends them, got mad at them, loathed them. I still love them.
Thank you, everyone. Now a special request from this point on. This will be a very fast program. We ask that everyone remain with us as we proceed throughout the program. We particularly ask those schools, coaches, and players who receive awards early to stay with us until all the divisions, all the schools, and all the players have received their awards. It won't be long, I really do promise you. We'll be done at an early hour, somewhere perhaps just a little after 9 or a little later. We will present plaques here tonight to our All-Met first and second team selections. For our All-Met third team players, they will be receiving a unique certificate of achievement suitable for framing. These certificates will be sent in a few days to our area schools and sports information departments. The All-Met Honorable Mention also is a unique honor, considering, as I said, 70 colleges and universities with more than 2,000 athletes playing basketball in the greater metropolitan area. And now for the awards, would John Paquette of the Big East Conference and John Taliaferri from our committee please join me here on the stage. When the Big East announced last month that John Paquette would be retiring at the end of his academic year, having known him a long, long time, I truly could not believe that it had been 35 years since he first joined the conference. And overall, including his time at Seton Hall and the MAC conference, more than 40 years that John has been a part of collegiate athletics, and often right here in the metropolitan area. John, you have been a great friend in serving the media, but beyond, you have so positively influenced the lives of so many students, athletes, coaches, administrators, and fans throughout your career. We know that your time ahead will include much more family time. And although you won't be on staff anymore, I am sure that Commissioner Val Ackerman will let you have a few tickets to the Big East tournament at the Garden. You were the first and one of the very few honorees to receive both the Good Guy and our Distinguished Service Award. And tonight, we present you with our Career Achievement Award. Thank you. Congratulations.
I spent my career in college athletics in the metropolitan area, and as Chuck said, it's 35 years for the Big East, some years at Seton Hall, a couple of other schools along the way. So I've been fortunate, and we're all part of a great game of college basketball. And you see great games, we're part of the experience, but for me, what I will remember and cherish the most are the relationships with all the people. A lot of people in this room, people like Chuck, and I've already said hello to about 20 people that that's what's in it for me. That's what's been in it for me. So I thank you very much.
At this time, would Jeff Bernstein please join me here on the stage to make the Division II men's presentation. Jeff?
Well, to keep things moving along, as Chuck likes it to be, first thing I'm going to do is ask all of the Division II men's first and second team honorees to please come up here in front of the podium. Don't be shy. When I go through the list, after we announce each one of you, please go over to that area over there for photos. We're going to start with the Division II second team honorees. First up, 6'5" sophomore guard forward from Indianapolis, Indiana. He earned ECC Defensive Player of the Year and all ECC second team honors. From St. Thomas Aquinas, Sean Arnold. A 6'4" sophomore guard from Durham, North Carolina. He was named to the Northeast 10 third team. From Pace University, Trey Boyd III. A 6'7" senior forward from Waterville, New York. He was named to the ECAC first team from the College of Staten Island, Messiah Mallory. And a 6'8" senior forward from Lindenwood, New Jersey. He was the CACC Defensive Player of the Year and all CACC third team from Bloomfield College, Edward and Gunay. Now, the all-met Division II first team. A 5'10" graduate student from Freeport, New York. He led the Northeast 10 in steals and assists, averaging 16.2 points, 8.7 assists, and 2.9 steals per game. The Northeast 10 Player of the Year and first team selection from Pace University, Trey Alexander. 6'2" junior guard from Chesapeake, Virginia. He was named All CACC First Team and D2 CCA Second Team All Region. Led the conference with 23.8 points per game from Georgian Court University, Cam Edmonds. And a 6'3" graduate student from Bridgewater, New Jersey. He was a first team All CACC selection and NABC second team All District. He led the Chargers with 16.8 points, 3.1 assists, and 3.0 rebounds per game from Dominican University, Jaden Hornets. At This time, we'd like to call up Dave Duke from Adelphi University to the stage. Dave Duke is the first head coach to earn Northeast 10 Conference Coach of the Year in Adelphi men's basketball history, as he guided the Panthers to one of the best seasons in his 11 years at the helm. Adelphi went 26-8 overall, 17-3 in the Northeast 10 last season, posting its highest victory total under Duke's watch and the most for the program since 2005-2006. The team produced a 12-game winning streak, fourth longest in program history, and was ranked as high as number 15 nationally by the NABC, which is Adelphi's highest ranking since being number 1 back in 2000-2001. The Panthers closed 24-25 by capturing their first regular season conference title since 2010-11, and as an at-large invitee, made their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2012. Duke is the 5th individual and represents the 9th time that Adelphi has produced a Metropolitan Basketball Writers Association Coach of the Year. 2025 Met Basketball Division II Men's Coach of the Year from Adelphi University, Dave Duke.
Good evening. As I was preparing my notes earlier, I realized this is the 22nd year of attending this. I have two takeaways. First, it's a tremendous honor to receive this group. Second, I'm well aware of how these speeches are received. Not necessarily by the quality of them, but the quantity of them, so I'm going to keep this thing moving along with a few short thank yous. Before I get into my thank yous that I had planned, I saw two very special people online when I logged in, and I would be remiss if I didn't give them a huge thank you. Coach Wright and his wife Patty are here, and they gave me my first job 27 years ago. So without you all, without you both, this would never have happened. First and foremost, I have to thank our team. It was an incredibly great, just a great group of young men. Incredibly talented and hardworking. These guys were buying everything we were selling for first team meetings, and I'm just extremely appreciative to each and every one of them. Our administration, our president, Dr. Reardon, vice president, Wally McCauley, Emily Dorco, Jessica Rogan, Kristen Shine, Eugene Mortwa, our SID, David Paolano, and our trainer, I have to give a special thank you to our athletics director, David McCabe. When this job became available, there were two main things that had me so interested in the job. First, after 16 years of being an assistant coach at Hofstra and Fordham, the opportunity to be a head coach was something that really had me very excited. The second was the chance to work for and with somebody that's not only excellent at their craft, but is a terrific person. Danny, thank you for all. Our assistant coaches, Nick Stanton, who's here with me tonight, Mike Laxton, Kevin Coyle, Andrew Delaney, and Taylor Carwell. They're hardworking, committed, and passionate. In a job that's most often a thankless one, I want to give each and every one of them a huge thank you. This award is theirs, as much as it is mine, in fact, even more so. Finally, my family. My parents were the ultimate super fans. My two brothers were like having another set of assistant coaches. However, after losses, they don't seem to share their thoughts with me quite as delicately as our other assistant coaches do, but by now I've gotten used to that. My amazing wife, her kindness and patience keep me centered and upbeat all year long throughout all of the I'm very blessed to have her by my side on this journey. And my two boys, I I have a 6-year-old and a 5-year-old who are my entire family. And they absolutely adore every single one of the guys on our team. Every morning, the day after a game that they were not able to attend, they ask me the same questions, in the same sequence without fail. Did we win? How many blocks did Jarnell have? How many points did Deshaun have? How many threes did Dre and Matty P hit? And how many jellies did Al have? Folks, in a time where college basketball has significantly changed, to me, that right there is what this is still really all about. To my fellow award winners, give you a big congratulations, and I thank the Met Writers for honoring me with a very special award. Enjoy the rest of the day.
This time we ask head coach Matt Healing and Trey Alexander from Pace to please join us on stage. A 5'10" graduate guard from Freeport, New York, Alexander, who also became the first setter to be named Northeast 10 Conference Player of the Year, led Pace in scoring, assists, steals, and shooting percentage, along with placing very high statistically throughout the conference and NCAA Division II. Among his many accolades for this past year, Alexander was named a third-team All-American by both NABC and D2CCA. He was the D2CCA East Region Player of the Year, Northeast 10 First Team, and All Defensive Team, and in the classroom was named Academic All-American by the College Sports Communicators. This past season, he led Pace to an at-large berth in the NCAA tournament with 16.2 points, a single-season school record, 277 assists, and 92 steals, while shooting 45.1% from the floor and 85.4% from the free throw line. Alexander placed 8th in the conference in scoring and 1st in assists and steals. On a national level, he was 2nd in Division II in assists and steals per game. Coach Healing will now share his understanding.
Thank you very much. Congrats to all the award winners. I know you guys want to hear from the man of the hour, Trey Alexander, but just a minute or two on Trey. We recruited him really hard out of high school, and also mainly out of his AAU program, Crown. Coach Christy Aspara, who Trey is very close with. And then again, recruited him really hard at prep school when he went to the Canterbury School in Connecticut with Coach Brian Battanet, who again Trey is very close with. So after a couple years of recruiting him in the spring of 2020, to no surprise, he turned down our scholarship offer and went somewhere else. So it was a unique process for us. And he made me turn this down because at that time we had Brandon Jacobs, who was a senior point guard for us, all conference, and as Trey related, he really didn't want to sit behind anybody. So that kind of rubbed me the wrong way for maybe a minute or two. But pretty quickly it made me love Trey even more. Just his will, his determination, his willingness to put himself out there and want to leave a mark right away. And rest assured, a few years later, we got our guy. He was with us for the last 2 years of his career. And wow, did he leave his mark already? We knew we were getting a great player. We've got an unbelievable person. Hands down, the best leader, the best captain I've ever been around. So all the intangibles that you look for as a coach, Trey brings in spades. And all those accolades that you talked about, all of those are well-deserved, All-American, any 10 Player of the Year, broke the school record for assists, led the nation in assists, all academic team, all defensive team. So all well-deserved. I know he's embarrassed by that because he doesn't like individual awards, but from a team standpoint as well, he led our team to a 24-8 record, a berth in the NCAA tournament. He was the consummate leader for us. He wants to get into coaching as well, which I know he's going to do great with, and we love him, and we're certainly going to miss him at pace. But just one or two more quick thoughts. Trey was actually selected to play in the Division II All-Star game as well. I was fortunate enough to be selected to coach in that game as well, so Trey and I went out to Evansville, Indiana for the Division II All-Star game. 20 of the nation's best Division II basketball players, and we're out there and everybody's, trying to feel it out. Maybe not overly vocal, but sure enough, that's not Trey. He kind of took over that whole scene out there, huddling people up, talking, being a leader at the highest of levels. So in a room full of alphas, Trey was the ultimate alpha. And Trey, I know he prided himself throughout his career on winning a championship, and we got pretty close this year. We lost a heartbreaker in the championship game by 1 point at the buzzer to Southern New Hampshire. But everybody in this room should know, and I'm sure Trey knows this as well, and if he doesn't, he better. This guy over here is the epitome of a champion. So again, we love him. We're going to miss him. Trey Alexander.
Before we bring Trey to the microphone, let's see a short video.
Alexander gets the rock. 3 seconds left. Alexander spins, steps back, he takes it from the game. Trey Alexander continues his career, continues to see it through the centers. Good. Right. Alexander backing down the pool, turns faces off the heel and in. A friendly roll.
First and foremost, I would like to thank my family. Nothing would be possible without them. First, and secondly, Memorial Association, this honor. There's a lot of great players out there in the game, especially this honor is a blessing in disguise. And lastly, I would like to thank Pace University School and my coaching staff for, once again, like Coach Henry said, giving me an opportunity to show who I am, and also the opportunity to find the game I love within itself, and finding a place that I can finally call home for the last 2 years. I'm proud of Pace University, and a lot of that is a testament to my coaches and the school itself. I worked really hard in my career. I got a really long and different journey. So to be recognized for accolades like this is always good. Like I said, in my career where I went to, but this is all I can ask for. So I just want to thank them, my school, my coaches, and once again my family. Thank you guys.
Congratulations again to all the D2 honorees. Now back to Chuck for the next award.
I'd like to ask Athletic Director Sheila Wooten and Coach Gerald Holmes from Bloomfield, please join us on the stage.
Good evening. I am Sheila Wooten, Athletic Director at Bloomfield College of Montclair State University. 25 years ago, we transitioned from NAIA to NCAA Division II with other proud members of our conference, the CACC. In our program, we needed to hire a full-time coach. All of our coaches were part-time. hire was men's basketball. Our first coach we hired left after the first 2 years, and Gerald was our assistant coach. So it made sense to hire him because Gerald was the obvious choice. He seemed quiet, humble, smart, well-spoken, quiet, loved recruiting, true competitor. And did I say quiet? Well, guess what? I quickly learned after my first impression, he was not quiet. I would never get any work done during his practice times. All I heard were screams of jump stop, at least 20 times a practice. Till, at the end of the day, when I left to go home, I felt like I was jump stopping. We talked about basketball all the time, which is my love as well. He was the perfect fit for Bloomfield. We had a great staff with a great family environment. More importantly, Gerald became family to me. He and his staff put our program on the map. Here are just a few accomplishments. He's been my longest tenured coach on staff, 23 years. He's had 8 CACC conference championships, 12 regular season first place finishes, 9 NCAA tournament appearances. He had a great run in 2011 when our team, who was ranked 7th, knocked off the top 3 seeds for the regional title, and it was our first Elite Eight. He was honored Coach of the Year 6 times. He produced Players of the Year in the CACC 6 times. All those accomplishments are great, but what I've most been proud of are the young men, who were true student athletes and now tremendous citizens that have come through our program over the last 23 years. Gerald may be loud on the court, but understood the assignment in preparing young men for the real world often. So it's my honor to present the Met Writers Association Distinguished Service Award to Gerald.
Good evening. That's my sister. When I received an email from Chuck several weeks ago informing me that I had been selected for this award, I literally said, wow, I'll say in my office like this. I'm truly humbled and honored to be here. This is not something that I could ever have envisioned for myself. So, excuse me, I want to give a huge thank you to Chuck and the executive committee members who felt that I was worthy of this. I've been in love with the game of basketball probably since I was about 5 years old. And about 6 years after I got out of college, I decided to follow my father's advice. My father had said to me on more than one occasion when I was younger, do something you love, try to be the best at it, and always get better. So I decided to start coaching basketball because that's what I love. Try to be the best at it is a given. I can't imagine any other way to go about anything. And giving back is something I try to do as much as I can. Kind of look at it in 2 different forms. On one hand, there's the daily or weekly give back that I would think most, if not all, coaches do. And that is we try to teach life skills to our players as we're teaching the game. Different things like teamwork, sacrifice, conflict resolution, how you respond to adversity, so on and so forth. And we try to relate those things to something they may go through later in life, something they may be going through currently off the court that we may not be aware of. So we're trying to teach life skills at all times and help them develop as young men. And then there's the more specific individual types of give back, which could be writing a letter of recommendation, making a connection, introduction, financial donation, donation of time, community service, so on and so forth. So this is how I've been living my life for the past 32 years. I hope to be able to continue to do so for another 10 or so, give or take, as long as I could continue to have the passion and the energy. And someone willing to give me a job, I'm going to do this for as long as I possibly can. So again, big thank you to Chuck and the committee members, and congratulations to all the Olympic cheer team.
Jeff Bernstein, come on back.
So, I'm going to ask the all-Met Division II women's first and second team members, please step up. And as I call your names, please go over there to the backdrop photo. Good idea. All right, let's get started. So first up is a 6'1" freshman center from Australia, CACC Rookie of the Year, CACC second team selection from Felician University, Stephanie Formby. A 5'9" junior guard from Naugatuck, Connecticut, a CACC second team pick from Dominican University, Kayla Howard. A 6'0" junior center forward from St. Michael, Barbados, from Pace University, Tower Lord. A 5'2" senior guard from Essex, Massachusetts, a Northeast 10 second team pick from Adelphi University, Caitlin O'Connell. A 5'9" senior forward from Portland Manor, New York, a Northeast 10 third team pick from Pace University, Ariana Stockinger. A 5'9" senior guard from Newark, New Jersey, a CACC third team selection from Bloomfield College, Tanisha Tucker. And rounding out the second team, a 5'11" sophomore forward from Vitoria, Gasteiz, Spain, and a third team All-CACC honoree from Felician University, Ann Vack. And now here are our first team honorees. A 5'9" senior forward from Troy, New York. She earned ECC Player of the Year and First Team honors, leading the Dolphins with 14.5 points per game. From the College of Staten Island, Genelise Halifax. A 6-foot junior forward from Gloucester City, New Jersey, an all-ECC First Team selection. She averaged 13.5 points and 6.6 rebounds per game for the Mavericks. From Mercy University, Angelina Barrera. A 6'0" junior forward from Kilkenny, Ireland. She averaged 16.7 points and 7.3 rebounds per game and received first team All-CACC honors. From Caldwell University, Lucy. A 5'9" junior guard forward from Troy, New York. She led the ECC with 17.3 points and 10.0 rebounds per game, earning first team All-ECC honors. From St. Thomas Aquinas College, Sarita Farah. A 5'3" sophomore guard from Jersey City, New Jersey. She was a first-team All-CACC selection, leading the conference with 18.2 points per game and earning second-team D2 CCA All-Region honors. From Caldwell University, Janelle Lewis. Still standing alone up here. Our final first-team selection, 5'8" sophomore guard from New City, New York. She led the CACC with 5.7 assists per game and was second with 17.6 points per game. Named first-team All-CACC from Dominican University, Tanasha Mills. At this time, we'd like to call up Nicole Sarcone from the College of Staten Island. In her 7th season as head coach of the Dolphins, Sarcone, who was raised on Staten Island, guided CSI to an 11-win improvement over 2023-24. Her team's 28 regular season mark was the best during her tenure, as CSI finished second during the ECC regular season and defeated Mercy in the conference semifinals before losing a close championship game at #1 seeded Damon in upstate New York. The 2025 Met Basketball Division II Women's Coach of the Year from the College of Staten Island, Nicole Sarcone.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank the Met Writers Basketball Association for this honor and extend my congratulations to everybody in this room, student athletes, coaches, and administrators who are being honored tonight. About 6 years ago, and just under a year, my first season at CSI, we were told that we were going Division II, and at that time, I never thought I would be standing here tonight. I am extremely grateful for this opportunity. It's been a challenging but very rewarding honor to lead this women's basketball program into a new era of the College of Staten Island. I feel a strong sense of pride leading this program, being one of the reasons in Staten Island, and I'm happy to show everybody just how great Staten Island basketball will be. I have learned so much and grown as an individual and a coach by standing among some of the best coaches in our conference and in this region. So thank you to all the coaches, athletes, and administrators who have made this region so competitive and one of the best regions to be a part of. I wouldn't be standing up here today without the support of so many people. Thank you to my family and the CSI administration and staff members for your support. To the best coaching staff in the world, I appreciate every single thing you've done, and none of this would be possible without you, your hard work, your dedication, and your commitment. And most importantly, I'm very, very thankful for the unbelievable group of student athletes who led us to a very, very fun season this year. Congratulations again to everybody here tonight.
Thank you, Coach. We now ask that Genelise Alacon join her coach up on stage. We read a little bit about her and then we'll see a video. 5'9" senior forward from Troy, New York, Alacon was named the East Coast Conference Player of the Year, as well as All-ECC First Team D2 CCA First Team All-Region. She led the Dolphins in scoring, rebounding, shooting percentage, and from the floor in the free throw line. She averaged a career-high 14.5 points, 7.4 rebounds, while shooting 49.2% from the field, third in the ECC, and 75.6 at the foul line, while topping the conference with 71 steals. Alarcon started all 30 games for the Dolphins, scored in double figures 22 times, and had 3 double-doubles. She posted 23 points and 7 rebounds in CSI's ECAC tournament semifinal victory over Mercy, which propelled CSI into the conference championship for the first time ever. For her 4 years, Alarcon played in 113 games, scored 1,390 points, collected 906 rebounds, 225 assists, 93 blocks, 168 steals. Very worthy recipient, I should say. Let's look at the video.
Kick out, Alarcon, 3. Splash. As Alarcon has the layup. Double it. Alarcon banks it in. As Alarcon will fly a 3. Goes Alarcon. Reverse layup is good. Another steal. Here comes Alarcon. And she banks it in up.
Congratulations again to all of our award winners in Division 2. I now present Chuck Stover.
At this time, would Jay Wright and Val Ackerman please come up to the stage? To begin, you may recognize Jay Wright from his television work on college basketball. You can see the makeup and everything that you took. But once upon a time, Jay Wright was a basketball coach, and a very good one. A former head coach at Hofstra, Jay Wright guided Villanova to 6 Big East championships and 16 NCAA tournaments in just 21 seasons, including winning the NCAA National Championship in both 2016 and 2018. Now here to introduce Val Ackerman is Jay Wright.
Thank you, Chuck. I was so excited to come back here to be able to introduce Val, because I get back here and see this dinner remind me of my Hofstra days, and see Dave Duke win the Coach of the Year award in Division 2. I'm so proud. And Steve Gorchov, the Good Guy Award, John McKechnie, honored. Brings me back to all my days in New York. I wanted to come back for Val. My wife wanted to come back for Val. This is just like an incredible night to see you again, Chuck. For all of you here tonight, all the winners, congratulations. But understand, you all are in New York. You're in the heart of basketball in our country. It's normal to you, but when I get outside of here, everybody respects New York basketball at a level above everywhere else in the country. So when you win an award at the Metropolitan Sports Writers Award, you win a Haggerty Award, that is the elite of basketball in our country because it's in New York. So take pride in that, please, and understand that everybody in our country respects New York basketball at a level like no other. So congratulations to all of you. It's a thrill to be back. And it's an honor to be able to introduce this year's Distinguished Service Award honoree, because Val Ackerman has had every award and has had every position in basketball. Val's in the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, Val's in the Naismith Hall of Fame, Val's been the president of USA Basketball, she's the founding president of the WNBA, she's done everything in basketball, men's basketball, women's basketball, international basketball. Most important to us as coaches here, players to understand this. In 2013, when the Catholic schools from the Big East separated, the 7 schools separated to create their own conference, there was a lot of indecision, a lot of fear. And Val took over as the leader of the Big East, and with courage, intelligence, creativity, led us to a point where the Big East right now, in this new era of NIL and the transfer portal, is in a perfect position to excel in college basketball. You see the great coaches like Rick Pitino, Kevin Willard, Shaka Smart, all these coaches in the Big East are because Val convinced all of the presidents of the Big East, this is how you got to build it with the coaches in the Big East. So it is my honor to introduce someone that has given her service to the game of basketball, the women's side, the men's side, the international side. And I did forget to mention, just saw Speedy Claxton, the coach of the hospital, was Haggerty Award winner, Player of the Year. And I always want to remember that because that made our program at hospital. Good to see you, Speedy, man. To all of you, Val is someone that everyone here should look up to and be grateful for where our game is today. My wife Patty and I are here today because she's been a great friend to us, but she's built the Big East. And finally, when all these conferences, the Big Ten, the ACC, tried to come in and steal Madison Square Garden, Val made the deal with Madison Square Garden to keep the Big East there. It's all on Val. This year's Distinguished Service Award winner, Val Ackerman.
Well, thanks so much, Jay. I'm so grateful for those kind words, and I'm even more grateful that you and Patty made the trek really to be here tonight. I have so much admiration for the two of you, and I'm so glad that our journeys have intertwined over the last 12 years or so. As Jay said, when the old Big East literally disintegrated, and then came back together in 2013 in its current form, there were a lot of questions about whether this proud group of basketball schools could survive in the football world. But thanks to Jay, and Villanova's 2 national titles came in short order, only 2 years after the Big East came back together, the answer was a resounding yes. The Big East could not only survive, but it could thrive. So here we are today with 8 Final Fours in the last 9 years for men and women combined, and 5 national titles to show for it. Villanova 2, UConn 2, and as of a week ago, UConn winning another 12th national title. It's really been an incredible run, and Jay, big thanks you for getting it going in 2016 and leading us back to the promised land. So thank you. Chuck, I want to thank you very much, and the Metropolitan Basketball Writers, for this incredible honor. Time permits me from praising the writers, all the writers in the room tonight, many of whom I know, but I would like to give a special shout out to my longtime colleague, Doug Feinberg, who I was so happy to join a few weeks ago in Tampa for his induction into the U.S. Basketball Writers Association Hall of Fame. I also want to commend my colleague, John Paquette. I've had the honor of working with John for the last 12 years. He's given 35 years of dedicated service to the Big East. And as has been noted, he will retire this June. He as one of the most respected communications administrators in college sports. So John, job well done. You're going to be greatly missed by all of us. It's really wonderful to see St. John's. Hi guys. My red storm table here in the spotlight tonight. With the awards to Coach Patino, Big East Player of the Year, now Haggerty Award winner, R.J. Lewis Jr. Congratulations to you. Helped bring us one of the most exciting campaigns in St. John's history this season. I also want to give a shout out to Seton Hall's Faith Masonians for being named D1 Player of the Year on the women's side, and the many other Pirates and Red Storm players who are being honored here tonight. Congratulations to all of you. You do us proud. I have dealt with many basketball writers in my career, and I just wanted to say how much respect I have for the attributes that are shared by so many of you in the profession. Your subject matter mastery, your turns of phrase in your articles, and your columns, inquisitiveness, your doggedness and your stamina, your ability to meet deadlines, your bracket predictions, which of course we all follow closely, and the love for the game that you all bring to the job. Basketball has produced so many stories since the days of Dr. Naismith, but the stories could never have been told without all of you. The ones who came before you and the ones who are going to come after you. To inform you, educate you, make people care. All of you have been as big a part of the basketball journey as anybody for athletes to be our unknown things. I've been very fortunate to work with you for a lot of sports industry giants, among them David Stern, Russ Grant, Gary Bettman. Had the chance to work with all of them. They all taught me the ins and outs of working in the league office and how to manage teams in a way that the teams would consider winning. I also had the honor of working early on in my career with Dave Gavin, who founded the Big East Conference. More than anybody, David pressed upon me the importance of being a responsible part of the sport. Finally, I just want to say how proud I am to be in the front row to witness the incredible growth of women's basketball, which has progressed in light years times delays. From my playing days in high school, I was a student athlete at the University of Virginia in the early years of Title IX, and look where it is today. I remember sitting at David Stern's side in the mid-90s, annual playoff preview lunches with the NBA writer corps. We'll always be grateful for him for opening his remarks back then with his enthusiastic updates on the plans for the WNBA. I'm sure he's smiling down today when he has become. And I just want to close by congratulating all of the award winners tonight, especially the student athletes. It's a big deal that you're here tonight. The fact that you're being honored speaks volumes about not only the kind of basketball player you are, but the kind of person you are. And I have all confidence in the world that all of you are going to go on to do great things with your lives. And this will be, my experience as any indication, one of the most happy memories that you can have. So congratulations to all the award winners tonight, and Chuck, thanks again to you and the association for this meeting.
Would Bobby Cipriani please come up to the stage? We have presentations for the 53 Women's Award.
Thank you, Chuck. We'd like to call up the Division III All-Net Women and ask that all the student athletes come to the front. Come to the stage. And of course, in order to keep the dinner moving faster, we'll be taking all of our pictures over to my right, as we've been doing so far tonight. We'll start with the All-Net Women's Division III second team honorees. While they're coming up, we just want to extend our congratulations to those who could not join us tonight. From Vassar, Tober Geld and Sierra McDermott. From NYU, Belle Polecchia. From Montclair State, Melissa Cridwell and Yeshiva Daniela Bessler. And lastly, we'd like to salute Kings Point's Emily Glassler, who is serving her semester at sea, hopefully watching tonight on the stream with her fellow Legend Marines, most recently near Japan. Hi, Emily. You're watching. First up, a WBCA Honorable Mention All-American with 13 rebounds a game, a 6'1" first-year forward from Holdorf, Maryland, U.S. MMA, Caroline Barton. A 5'5" junior guard from Old Bridge, New Jersey, who led Stevens to the MAC Freedom Championship, is Layla Castro. 5'7" graduate student from Brooklyn who was 5th in the NCAA Division III scoring at 24.8 points per game from Lehman, Evan Figueroa. A 6-foot junior guard from southeastern Massachusetts, also a WBCA Honorable Mention All-American from NYU, Caroline Pepper. And now for the All-Men Women's Division III First Team selections. First, alphabetically, a 6'1" graduate student from St. Louis. She was last year's NBWA Women's Division III Player of the Year from NYU, Natalie Blums. Two-time first-team All-Men selection, the NCAA's leading scorer, and 4th in assists, the CUNY Co-Player of the Year, a 5'8" senior guard from nearby Pleasant Valley, Bruce Mia Castillo. A 5'8" junior guard from right here in Tarrytown. She finished right behind Castillo as the second leading scorer in Division III. Also a two-time All-Men selection, the CUNY Co-Player of the Year from Hunter, Alexa Charles. At this time, we'd like to call up Nate Barber from NYU. In her 7th season at the helm, NYU alum, Nate Barber was also named WBCA Division III National Coach of the Year in 2022, and this season as well, led the Violets 31-0, 14-0 in the UAA to their 4th straight University Athletic Association title as the program claimed its 3rd NCAA National Championship. Violets' back-to-back national crowns are the 4th time that this feat has been achieved since the NCAA inaugurated the women's tournament in 1982. NYU defeated Smith for both of its recent titles, winning 51-41 in 2024 and cruising to the crown 77-49 this time around. So it's all in the program, of course, but if you're not caught up, we'd like you to watch this short video. Back-to-back Division III National Champions, NYU's Nate Barber.
Thank you for indulging me again to watch that video. It has not gotten old yet. My mom is watching on the live stream, so I just want to tell her, please do not text me because I'm using my phone for the first time to say a few notes. But just a thank you to the Met writers, Jeff, Chuck, Greg, all the staff for hosting this amazing dinner. It doesn't get old to be able to come out here and see friends, see colleagues, opponents we compete against all year. What a great gathering of everyone, and a special congratulations to the student athletes. So proud of all of your accomplishments and every level and what you guys are up to next. We can't wait to be a part of it. I personally have a connection to Met basketball history because when I was recruited to NYU, my dad said absolutely not. And then Barry Kramer called my house and he told my dad, listen, it was the best decision I ever made. So because of Barry Kramer, I was an NYU graduate and I'm lucky enough to be able to come back and coach the program today. We've had an incredible season. I just want to thank our staff, Annie, Nettie, who is attending another function, Sarah, and obviously our administration, Miles, who's here tonight, our men's staff as well, who had an incredible year, and side by side as we were both trying to get a national championship together was unbelievable. And then obviously, and most importantly, our players, Natalie and Caroline, who are here tonight. Our senior class had a 112-5 record over their 4-year career. So on our way up here, Bruns was saying to me, I bet the freshmen and sophomores have no idea what you're like after a loss. And I was like, I'd really like to keep it that way. But it's the legacy that you guys have left just as people and the way, the joy you brought to my life as a coach. I think sometimes in the grind, we can lose sight of that, and it's just been an absolute joy to coach you guys. And I'm just honored to be part, as Val said earlier, the narrative of New York City basketball this year. What a storyline. It was fun to just be a part of watching all of your stories, feeling the momentum of it, feeling the passion of basketball back in New York City. So I'm just really fortunate. I just want to thank all of you tonight. Thank you to the Met writers.
And now on to the player of the year. We have another video. What can't you do? I said that just last year, so I'm going to list a few of the accolades instead of what's just in the program. Two-time Met Player of the Year, two-time NCAA champion, two-time UAA Player of the Year, two-time National Player of the Year, NCAA Elite 90 Award winner, CSC Academic All-America, finalist for the Division III Athlete of the Year. And of course, now for the more, welcome back, Coach Metropolitan.
There really aren't enough words to say about Natalie. Obviously, you know, two-time, her basketball accolades just speak for themselves. She leads NYU as the most decorated student athlete, not just athlete, but as he mentioned, the Elite 90, which goes to the top GPA at the Final Four amongst any team and any player, manager. And Natalie not only was National Player of the Year, but also had the highest undergraduate GPA, 3.96 in NYU's engineering school, and currently has a 4.0 in NYU's cybersecurity master's program. So if anyone is in that field, I would just highly recommend trying to grab her number after this is over. But outside of the awards, she is truly elite in all ways. She has made the absolute most of an opportunity that a lot of people kind of nudged her to maybe move on from last year after we went undefeated and won a national championship, people said kind of what's next. And I am forever indebted that Natalie's last chapter stayed at home with NYU, and she just doubled down and was like, let's run it back. And we went 31-0 again and won a national championship again. So I don't have this, I don't have any of the accolades as a coach without her. I am by far the luckiest coach in this room. And lastly, just the players, so we have other players here. She has helped also recruit with her honesty, leading with how hard it is to be a student athlete at NYU. It's not easy, it's not the most glamorous, but she's been honest about the challenges and opportunities that NYU presents, and she has both recruited and mentored a majority of the players that are in our program to date. So I am forever indebted to you. I love you. I can't imagine practice or games without you. And just thank you.
I first want to congratulate everyone here tonight as college athletes who dedicate your entire life to represent this and the sport has to offer. And I'm thrilled to be standing with the elite players and coaches who are being recognized for that opportunity. Last year when I gave this speech, I spoke a lot about my teammates and my coaches, which I will get to in a second. But I first want to touch on something that brings us uniquely together in this room, and that's playing basketball in New York City and various surrounding. I mentioned just a moment ago that before your young adult life to a sport like basketball, there's a lot to look back. And that includes areas we don't work. But I think as student athletes, I think this is especially true for us in New York. What is often considered the mecca of basketball, this city is incredible. It forces you to develop a grit, but simultaneously accepts everyone's journey, past and present, and celebrates success hand in hand with everyone who buys into the future. My first introduction to New York basketball came when I was a freshman in college, and my season had been completely canceled due to COVID. Since all the NYU gyms were closed, I often found myself at the courts in Brooklyn. For those of you from this area, culture of pickup basketball here is not surprising, but I immediately became excited when I found out there were games happening every single day and that they welcome anybody who would like. Like I said, New York is competitive, so you're always responsible for proving yourself to stay on the court. But being a female athlete was such a culture, one that accepted and welcomed me was certainly not always the case in my hometown. Moving here from the Midwest during COVID-19 was undoubtedly challenging, but I was able to find peace and community in a wildly unfamiliar place through the incredibly familiar medium of basketball. Fast forward a year, college seasons are starting out again, and I officially became a student athlete, which brought its own unique challenges. I was subwaying between Manhattan and Brooklyn for class and practice on a daily, and balancing the engineering workload with basketball commitments for the first time. Again, uncharted territory, but I learned a lot. I grew, and again, I have the city today. This time, specifically people in New York City. To all my teammates throughout my career, younger, older, Caroline Pepper, who I'm with tonight, they've all motivated, challenged, and inspired me to be the best version of myself, both on and off the court. To my coaches, who recruited me here, convinced me to buy into this experience, and saw the potential for the person I could become at the end of this chapter of my life. You all are the reason I stand here today, and it's important for me to visit my family, not knowing much about New York at the time, shipped me off to the city at the age of 18. This city attracts great people, and I return back to the theme that this people and this place are things that will challenge us, accept us, and selflessly celebrate us when it becomes time to do so. I'm eternally grateful for the support of my family, my coaches, my teammates, and the future of basketball. It's an honor to be recognized for my hard work and support, and I'm even more honored to stand up here and represent all the factors I just discussed, which shaped me today. The reflection of what being a student athlete here can be if you buy into it, and like myself, I believe everyone here has. Thank you again, and congratulations everyone.
Thanks everyone, and back to Chuck.
At this time, I'd like to ask Andrew O'Connell from our Jim O'Connell Scholarship Committee, come up to the stage for the presentation of the Top Award.
Let me start by thanking the MBWA Executive Committee for their continued work in helping keep my dad's memory alive with this scholarship. My dad loved this dinner and this organization because of the people involved and what the Met Basketball Writers Association stands for. Having spent 40 years in the business with the resources of the Associated Press behind him, my dad saw the game on every corner of the globe in some of its most storied venues. But there was nowhere he'd rather be than right here in New York. He's the only writer I know who would cover Duke Carolina on Wednesday and then come home on Thursday and go to a game at St. Francis on his night off. He did it not because he loved the game, but because he loved the people that make our game so special. There are a lot of folks in this room who can attest to the fact that my dad loved helping people. For a guy who liked to play the role or curmudgeon, he had an awfully big soft spot. Over the course of his career, he helped dozens, probably hundreds of people advance their careers in the industry. He was the first to make a call on your behalf, and his friends often became your friends. That's what we try to keep alive with this award. The young professionals he took under his wing usually fell into one of two categories. You were either A, really good, or B, really fun to hang out with. Our winner this year appears to fit both categories pretty well. Joe Henry's resume is pretty remarkable. He has a 4.0 GPA at Fordham while majoring in economics with a minor in sports journalism. My dad liked to joke that he too had a 4.0 at St. John's if you added up both semesters together. Joe is the sports editor of the student newspaper, and next year he'll be the sports manager of WFUV, the university's prestigious student radio station that has produced the likes of Vince Scully, Mike Green, Michael Kay, Chris Carino, Spiro Diaz, and Tony Reale. Joe can't be here tonight because he's currently wrapping up a semester abroad in London, but that hasn't stopped him from working. The other day, when news of Fordham's NCAA sanctions broke, he provided the first comprehensive report on the subject from the other side of the Atlantic, which helped the story pick up steam here at home. Joe is definitely one of those kids my dad would have wanted to help out, but if we're being honest, I'm not sure he needed. On behalf of the entire O'Connell family, thank you to the Met Basketball Writers Association, and congrats to Joe on this well-deserved award. Chuck, I believe we have a video.
Hi everyone, thank you for coming out tonight to celebrate the sport that we all love, to celebrate the amazing athletes we have in the metro area, and celebrate everyone who plays a role in making college hoops so great. And also to celebrate those who are not here whose legacy is occurring. It's hard to believe the words how honored I am to be named the winner of the 2025 Hockey Award. As you all know, Austin's the beacon everyone in my industry looked to when it came to college basketball. He was a tremendous journalist or reporter, and yes, he was even a Hall of Famer, but above that, he was a friend, father, husband, and more broadly, pillar of his community. A community that, by the day, feels more and more like home. For me, reading Ock's story and hearing my colleagues talk about him, always with a smile, reminds me what it's about to work in this industry. Service. Service to the athletes and coaches who strive to cover, not for a suit or a paycheck, but because of a genuine love for what they do. Service to a game that has given us all so much. Service to our coworkers who make us so lucky to work experience. And service to our audience who deserve our best work. As I keep writing, reporting, and broadcasting, I have no doubt that Ock's spirit was labor and kindness and passion will help guide me. I want to do big things in this industry in service of others, and I want to do it the right way. Ock shows us all how to do both. I want to thank Ock, the entire O'Connell family, the folks at the MBWA for this honor and scholarship, my mom, my dad, Bobby, Lou, Will, WFUV Sports, and the Ram, and everyone here for helping to foster such a beautiful community. Thank you.
Bobby Ciaffardini, you're up. Presentation of Division 3 Men's Awards.
And just like we did with the women, I'd like to bring up the Division 3 All-Met men in front of the stage, please.
Congratulations.
From Vassar, we've got Shay Fitzgerald from NYU, Zay Freeney from Montclair State, Mike Jackson and Jacob Morales, and from Yeshiva, Zevi Center. From the landmark champion Drew Rangers, a 6'2" senior guard from Little Egg Harbor, Josh Klein. 6'5" senior swingman who hails all the way from Rio Rancho, New Mexico, from St. Elizabeth, Tyrell Monroe. 6'7" senior forward from the Bronx, playing for his hometown team, Lehman, Kai Paris.